There is a moment in every intimate relationship that is far more powerful than most people realize. It is not during the act of passion itself, but in the quiet minutes that follow. What happens right after sex often determines the depth of emotional connection a man feels, how safe he believes he is with you, and whether he imagines a future by your side. Many women underestimate this moment, treating it casually or rushing through it, but for men, it can be the very thing that makes them stay or slowly drift away. If you know what to do right after sex, you touch a part of him that no one else does, and when you do it right, he will never want to leave. Why is this moment so powerful? Because sex is not only a physical act, it is an emotional opening. Men, despite being taught to hide their vulnerability, feel most exposed in the minutes after intimacy. In those moments, his guard is down, his heart is slightly unprotected, and he is unconsciously scanning for signals. Does she really value me? Does she accept me fully? Is she safe to trust? The answers he feels in that fragile window shape his attachment more than words ever could. If he feels loved, admired, and accepted, his bond with you deepens. If he feels dismissed, criticized, or ignored, his heart slowly shuts down. What most women do not realize is that men often interpret post-intimacy behaviors as signs of love or rejection. When a woman rushes to check her phone, turns her back without a word, or begins complaining about something unrelated, it signals to him that the experience was purely physical and that his deeper self is not valued. On the other hand, when a woman lingers, shows warmth, and reassures him emotionally, he interprets it as proof that she is not only his lover, but his safe place in the world. That difference can mean everything. So, what exactly should you do right after sex that makes him never want to leave? The answer is not complicated, but it is profound. Nurture the bond. Instead of letting the moment pass, you use it to affirm him, to admire him, and to accept him. This combination speaks directly to his deepest masculine needs and makes him feel safe, desired, and irreplaceable. Start with physical closeness. Men may act tough in public, but in private, touch is one of the purest ways they receive love. Simply resting your head on his chest, holding him gently, or tracing his arm with your fingers tells him that he is more than a physical partner to you. It tells him he is your protector, your man, and that you feel safe in his arms. This subtle act of closeness melts away his fears. He does not need you to say much. The softness of your body near his communicates it all. The second thing you can do is give verbal admiration. Right after intimacy, his defenses are low and his ears are open. A few words of appreciation like, "I love how close I feel to you," or "You make me feel so safe and cherished," have a far greater impact than at any other time. These words sink deeply into his subconscious because they come at a moment when his emotions are heightened. He will replay them in his mind long after, and they will anchor his connection to you. Acceptance is the third and perhaps most important ingredient. Men carry deep fears of not being enough. They may not show it, but they worry about their performance, their worth, and their ability to satisfy their woman. If, after sex, you show any sign of criticism, disappointment, or comparison, you crush him at his most vulnerable. But if you reassure him with warmth, if you show that you are content and emotionally fulfilled, his confidence in you and in the relationship grows unshakable. He does not want to look for validation elsewhere, because he already has it with you. Now, some women make the mistake of turning the post-intimacy moment into an interrogation. They ask where the relationship is going, when he will commit, or why he acted a certain way earlier. While those questions might be important, they do not belong in this fragile window. To a man, this feels like betrayal of his openness. He just gave you his most vulnerable self, and suddenly he is under attack. Instead of leaning in, he will pull back. The hidden power of this moment is not in pushing him, but in soothing him. When you make him feel safe right after sex, he naturally wants to commit more deeply on his own. What makes this practice so effective is that it bypasses logic and speaks directly to his emotional core. Men may act rational in daily life, but love is never rational. It is emotional. The way you handle him when he is most vulnerable shapes the way he sees you overall. If he feels adored and respected in that private space, he associates you with comfort, with trust, and with home. He may not tell you this in words, but he will show it in his actions. By staying close, by protecting you fiercely, and by seeing you as the woman he cannot afford to lose. You do not need to overcomplicate it. A gentle cuddle, a smile, a word of admiration, or simply lying quietly in each other's arms can be enough. The key is presence. Do not treat the moment as disposable. Do not distract yourself with outside noise. Give him the gift of your full attention. That attention tells him he matters, and once a man feels he matters deeply to a woman, he will do anything to keep her in his life. There is also a spiritual layer to this. Sex bonds two people beyond the physical. It connects their energy. The energy you bring right after determines whether that bond strengthens or weakens. If you bring gratitude, love, and gentleness, the energy lingers and nourishes both of you. If you bring criticism, distance, or coldness, the energy turns heavy, and he unconsciously associates you with discomfort. Over time, those small signals add up, and they decide whether he stays or strays. One of the most beautiful ways to anchor this bond is to simply breathe with him. Synchronize your breathing as you rest together. It may seem small, but it creates a deep physiological sense of unity. Without words, you are telling him, I am with you, body and soul. Men rarely experience this level of connection, and when they do, they cannot walk away from it. It is worth noting that this does not mean ignoring your own needs. The best post-intimacy connection happens when both partners feel fulfilled. If something is missing for you, express it with love at a different time, not in the fragile minutes right after. That way, you protect the sacredness of the moment. He feels honored, and you preserve the space where he bonds most strongly with you. Imagine this. He wakes up the next morning, and the memory that stays with him is not only the passion, but the way you held him, the way you looked at him, the way you made him feel like the most important man in the world. That memory follows him through his day, through his week, and through his choices. It is why he texts you more often, why he makes plans with you, why he invests in your future together. Because in his heart, he has already decided. You are the one he cannot leave. At the end of the day, men are not that different from women. They want love, they want connection, they want safety. But because of the way they are raised, they rarely admit how much they crave it. When you know what to do right after sex, you give him something no one else does. You become not just his lover, but his safe haven. And once a man finds that haven, he will do whatever it takes to keep it. So remember this. The act may end, but the connection continues. The minutes after are not small. They are sacred. Treat them with intention. Use them to admire him, to accept him, to hold him close. If you do this, he will not only stay, he will never even think of leaving. Because to him, you are not just another woman. You are the woman who knows the hidden secret of his heart, the woman who makes him feel whole, the woman he cannot let go.